Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle you desperately want to break, yet every attempt to escape only tightens its grip? For millions, this isn't a metaphor, it's the daily, grueling reality of addiction. It's a silent war waged within the mind and body, a battle far more complex than a simple lack of willpower or moral fortitude. Society often whispers the damagingly simple advice, just stop. But if it were that easy, addiction wouldn't be the pervasive public health crisis it is today. The truth is, quitting feels impossible because on a biological level, the brain has been fundamentally altered. It has been rewired to prioritize a substance above all else, including survival itself. This isn't a personal failing, it's a profound neurological phenomenon that demands our understanding and empathy. Before we delve into the intricate science and the pathways to healing, I want to extend my gratitude for your presence here. Taking the time to read this, whether for yourself or for someone you care about, is a significant first step. It signifies a willingness to look beyond the surface, to understand the deep-seated mechanisms that make addiction so powerful. This topic is heavy, layered with pain and misunderstanding, but it is also filled with immense hope. By exploring the why behind the struggle, we empower ourselves with the knowledge needed to dismantle the despair. Your attention is a valuable contribution to this crucial conversation. The feeling of impossibility that accompanies the desire to quit is not an illusion or an excuse. It is the lived experience of a brain that has been systematically hijacked. Imagine your brain's reward system as a finely tuned instrument, designed to release feel-good chemicals like dopamine when you engage in life-sustaining activities like eating or connecting with loved ones. At the heart of the addiction puzzle lies a crucial brain region known as the nucleus accumbens. It's a key player in what scientists call the reward pathway. This network is designed for our survival. It motivates us to repeat behaviors essential for life. When you enjoy a delicious meal, or share a laugh with a friend, this pathway releases a moderate amount of dopamine, reinforcing the behavior. It's a brilliant evolutionary design that keeps us seeking connection, nourishment, and joy. However, addictive substances exploit this system with brutal efficiency. That sets off a cascade of changes in the brain. Opioids, alcohol, nicotine. It doesn't just stimulate the reward pathway, it overwhelms it. The drug causes a dopamine release 2 to 10 times greater than natural rewards. This intense, artificial euphoria sends a powerful, distorted signal to the brain. This is the most important thing you have ever experienced. Forget everything else. The brain, unable to distinguish this chemical trick from a genuine survival signal, begins to rewire itself. It strengthens the neural connections tied to using the substance, while weakening those related to healthier natural rewards. The world slowly begins to lose its color as the substance becomes the only source of perceived pleasure. This rewiring process is what leads to dependence. The brain physically adapts to the drug and can't function comfortably without it. The brain's own chemistry is thrown into disarray. Regions responsible for judgment, decision-making, and impulse control, primarily located in the prefrontal cortex, are progressively weakened. Their ability to put the brakes on impulsive desires diminishes. At the same time, more primitive, habit-forming parts of the brain grow stronger. The basal ganglia, for example, become reinforced. This creates a devastating internal conflict. The rational mind knows it should stop, but the rewired habit centers scream for more. The result is a person who feels like a passenger in their own body. They may despise the consequences of their use: broken relationships, financial ruin, failing health. This is not a matter of choice in the traditional sense. The addiction becomes embedded in their neural architecture, transforming a desire into a perceived need as fundamental as breathing. Understanding this hijacking is critical. It shifts the narrative from moral judgment to compassionate recognition of a complex brain disease, and it shows why intensive care and strategic intervention are required to heal. But what makes some drugs so impossible to resist compared to others? The answer lies in their specific chemical structures and how they interact with the brain's intricate communication network. A substance's addictive potential is largely determined by 2 key factors: the speed at which it reaches the brain, the intensity with which it stimulates the reward pathway. The faster and more powerfully a drug delivers that dopamine surge, the more strongly the brain links the drug to that intense reward, and the more rapidly a compulsive habit can form. This is why the method of administration can dramatically increase addictive liability: smoking, injecting, swallowing a pill. Consider the difference between heroin, morphine, Heroin's chemical structure allows it to cross the blood-brain barrier much more rapidly. That near-instantaneous rush gives powerful immediate reinforcement, far more addictive than morphine's slower onset. Similarly, smoking a cigarette delivers nicotine to the brain in under 10 seconds, making it far more addictive than a nicotine patch, which releases the chemical slowly and steadily. This speed creates a tight conditioned loop. The act of using becomes inseparable from the immediate intense reward, forging a behavioral chain that is incredibly difficult to break. Different substances also manipulate brain chemistry in unique ways beyond dopamine. Alcohol enhances the effects of GABA, producing feelings of calm and sedation. With chronic use, the brain adapts by reducing GABA sensitivity. When alcohol is removed, the brain is left hyperexcitable, leading to anxiety, tremors, and even life-threatening seizures. Opioids bind to receptors meant for our natural endorphins, hijacking our pain and pleasure systems. The brain stops producing its own endorphins, leaving a person in a state of heightened pain and emotional distress during withdrawal. This chemical diversity explains why withdrawal symptoms and long-term effects vary so widely. Each drug creates its own specific imbalance, requiring a tailored approach to treatment and recovery. The intense craving during abstinence is not just psychological. It's a physiological signal from a chemically altered brain screaming for the substance. The body and mind are caught in a chemical trap, making the path to freedom a profound biological challenge. The decision to quit is a monumental act of courage, but it marks the beginning of one of the most arduous phases of recovery: navigating withdrawal. This is the body and brain's fierce, painful protest against the absence of a substance it has grown to depend on for basic functioning. Withdrawal is not simply a bad mood or a lack of resolve, it is a genuine physiological crisis. The symptoms can range from deeply uncomfortable to outright life-threatening, depending on the substance, the duration of use, the individual's health. It is a full-body experience that underscores just how deeply the drug has integrated itself into a person's biology. For someone withdrawing from opioids, the experience is often described as the worst flu imaginable, magnified 100-fold. Their body, deprived of the artificial pain relief it has become accustomed to, rebels with excruciating muscle aches, abdominal cramps, vomiting, and diarrhea. Why can one person try a substance and walk away, while another finds themselves ensnared in a life-altering addiction? The answer is not a simple one. It is a complex interplay of genetic predispositions, life experiences, that creates a perfect storm of vulnerability for some individuals. Scientists now believe genetics can account for as much as half of a person's risk. These are not addiction genes that predetermine fate, but inherited traits that raise susceptibility. For example, some people have lower levels of dopamine receptors, making them seek intense experiences for pleasure. Other genetic factors affect how the body metabolizes substances. Certain gene variants make nicotine more pleasurable or make withdrawal far harsher, increasing the likelihood of developing a dependency. Conversely, some genes cause unpleasant reactions to alcohol, flushing nausea, which act as natural deterrents. It's a genetic lottery. No single gene dictates the outcome, but this inherited blueprint can tilt the scales, making the journey into addiction a much shorter and more perilous one for those with higher genetic load. However, genes are only part of the equation. Life history, especially trauma, stress, and adversity, plays an equally powerful role. The first, and often most critical component, is seeking professional help. Treatment plans tailored to the individual's specific needs provide structure and support to navigate the treacherous early stages and build a foundation for a new way of life. This process often begins with detoxification, but detox is merely the first step of stabilization, not the cure itself. The real work of recovery involves therapy and counseling to address underlying issues such as trauma, depression, or anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, for example, helps individuals identify and change destructive thought patterns and behaviors, teaching them new coping skills to manage triggers and cravings. Building these new neural pathways is essential. It's about actively creating healthy alternatives to the well-worn path of addiction. Equally vital is the power of community and connection. Addiction thrives in isolation and withers in the light of fellowship. Support groups provide a safe, non-judgmental space where individuals can share their experiences with others who truly understand the struggle. In South Africa, organizations like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and the South African National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, or SANCA, offer invaluable peer support. In America, resources are similarly widespread, with AA and NA chapters in nearly every community. alongside programs like SmartRecovery and services provided by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA. These groups break the shame and isolation that fuel addiction. Ultimately, lasting recovery involves creating a life that is more rewarding than substance use. This means building new habits, rediscovering old hobbies, and forging healthy relationships. It is about finding purpose and meaning in sobriety. It might involve a new career path, a commitment to physical fitness, or a spiritual practice. Each positive new experience helps to further heal the brain's reward system, teaching it to find joy and satisfaction in the real world once again. This is the true architecture of recovery, a holistic, supportive, and sustained effort to rebuild a life, one healthy choice and one supportive connection at a time. The journey out of addiction is one of the most difficult challenges a person can face. It's a path marked by setbacks, moments of doubt, and demands a courage many don't know they possess. Yet remember this: recovery is possible and happening every day. The brain's capacity for change, neuroplasticity, that once let addiction take hold, also holds the key to freedom. Every day of sobriety, each new coping skill, every healthy connection slowly rewires the brain. What if the opposite of addiction is connection? Move forward, on your path or supporting another. Rebuild by replacing the false connection of substances with genuine bonds. Community, family, self-worth. Reclaim your health and humanity. You don't have to walk the road alone. Reach out, ask for help, or offer help. Connection fights the isolation addiction creates. Stigma keeps people silent. We can change that. Talk openly, share knowledge, treat people with compassion and dignity. That creates a culture where seeking help is strength. If you're struggling, you're not alone. A fulfilling life awaits. If you know someone, your empathy can be their lifeline. Never underestimate a kind word or listening ear. Thanks for your time. Keep learning, support recovery work, and champion compassion. A reclaimed future is real, built on knowledge, support, and hope. Stay connected for more resources. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and share this with someone who might need to hear it. We have more life-changing content coming your way, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Your journey matters.